Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from Stock Screamer. In this video, we're going to talk about whether Amazon is a buy, sell, or hold going into 2019. But before we do, I would ask you please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have, I give you the Sammy Sosa kiss. Now, is Amazon a buy, a sell, or a hold going into 2019? Last video that I made, first one in this new channel, I told you about how I bought into Amazon in March of 2017 at a little under $8.50. The stock since then has completely doubled. As we sit today, we're somewhere over 1,700. At one point, it was up over 2,000. It's just had this great run, but what now? Is there still room to run for Amazon? Does it still make sense to buy, or does it make sense to sell it? Or if you have some already, do you want to hold it? Now, Amazon has gotten to a point now where it's one of the biggest companies in the market, top 3 in market cap, up there with Microsoft and Apple, and it's kind of started to get some bad publicity as it has really gotten into this sort of monster level here as a humongous company. Earlier in the year, or even over the past couple years, President Trump has been going after Jeff Bezos, more about him owning the Washington Post really than Amazon, but sort of using his animosity toward him as a way to, try to poke at Amazon and talk about how they're sort of, what he would, I guess, consider an unfair advantage that they have in the marketplace using the Postal Service and whatever beefs he has come up with. The whole HQ2, Amazon's second headquarter sort of sweepstakes, kind of turned into a debacle with them ending up choosing places where they could have chosen without having all these cities do a dog and pony show to try and get the headquarters in their cities. Amazon probably knew very early on that they were going to end up in New York and DC area, and all these other cities kind of jumped through a lot of hoops for no good reason. So Amazon has started to look a little bit like a corporate bully. They've gotten some bad PR over some of these things that have happened. However, just today I saw a survey saying that Amazon was just named the favorite company of Americans. So in the survey, 70+% of them said that they had a good opinion of Amazon, more so than any of the other companies that were surveyed. So obviously, even though there's some bad publicity outside, in the homes of Americans, Amazon has a good reputation, obviously, and some of this other stuff I think is sort of noise on the outside, but for the regular person that uses Amazon, for the most part, they're pretty happy. Now, this past Cyber Monday was Amazon's biggest selling day ever. It seems like every time they have a big event, it is the newest biggest selling day. So they continue to sort of crank along and have these, sort of remarkable days that are just bigger and bigger. And they're, just killing it in so many ways. So just through regular retail, obviously online, their Amazon Web Services, which provides storage and that sort of thing that kind of powers many other big sites on the internet. They have advertising on their site, both just sort of general advertising and sponsored advertising for brands that want to be, show up better in their search results. They have their, Amazon Prime, which has been a great thing for them. Streaming services, the Kindle, the buyout of Whole Foods, which honestly, in my opinion, was not necessarily my favorite thing that they have done, but still, they now have these many, brick and mortar retail locations. I don't know if they'll continue to stay with Whole Foods as it is, because Whole Foods seems a little more highbrow than I kind of think of Amazon as being. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to take it from where Whole Foods has been and sort of continually take it down until Whole Foods is just sort of another grocery store, more like what you would think of Amazon having. But anyway, Whole Foods, another thing. So they've just got so many businesses where they have done so well. And the thing that keeps me coming back to Amazon, or keeps me with Amazon as a stockholder, is the fact that when Amazon gets in a new business, they are immediately a player. So Amazon, probably more so than any other company, because of the fact, maybe because they started from this retail side and were not sort of a tech company that tried to get into other things. They were more like a retail company that had a tech component. Now they kind of seem like they can go anywhere and have legitimacy in almost any business that they try to do. Healthcare is a thing that they've been talking about over the last year. They haven't done too much yet, but there are some, that's another business that they are getting into. There are just so many places that they can go. And that's why Amazon is a stock that is not necessarily about the fundamentals, in terms of price, earnings, and all that sort of stuff. It's really sort of about the story. What does the future hold for Amazon in terms of all the places that they could go? And as a potential stockholder, you look at that and you just see potentials for growth, growth, growth. Now, the question is, how high can that stock price go? Even if there is continued growth, is there sort of is there a point where things, your just average investor just can't see spending any more on that stock, regardless of how dominant Amazon becomes? We're looking at a 1,700 plus a share price as I make this video. Is Amazon a buy at 1,700 plus? Some people think a recession is coming in 2019. We definitely have had some signs of a slowdown. The things with interest rates have got people a little shaky. In my mind, it's hard to make a case for Amazon having a big run like it has had. So I don't really see a case for a real short-term rise in early 2019 for Amazon. When I look at Amazon, I still think of it as a buy, but definitely as a long-term play, something that is likely to outperform the market overall, but not necessarily something where, I'm going to see that 100% plus return, that I've gotten over the past year and a half for it. So for me, I still see it as a hold in my portfolio. If I were, looking at it as an individual investor otherwise, I think it depends on where I am with other stocks I own and, kind of how I feel about how I want to construct my portfolio. I think it's a great foundational piece to a portfolio. Amazon is, not going to crash. Like I said, they have so many industries that they are dominant in and so many possibilities of places they can go. They're a stock that you could feel comfortable holding, even if it wasn't a great return in the short term. I feel pretty good about the fact that it is going to bring a pretty good long-term return. Now, the question for a lot of people, I think, as individual investors, is you're looking at a price per share of 1,700 plus. A lot of people don't like to play in that area in terms of, when you buy a stock that is 1,700, unless you have a good amount of capital, you're only going to be buying a few shares. If you have a lot of money, obviously that $1,700 isn't going to deter you necessarily. You're just going to look at what you think sort of the Amazon story is going forward. But I think for a lot of smaller investors, we don't necessarily want to play in the $1,700 per share area. People want, stocks that they can get at for $100 or less. And Amazon hasn't shown any, real desire to split this stock and get it to what I might think of as a more reasonable per share price. They seem like this is going to be the way they're going to go, going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. So that is something that I could see could, drive people a little bit away from it. And I certainly wouldn't blame you if you felt like putting $1,700 or, you got to spend almost $3,500 just to get 2 shares of stock, right? You'd like to have a little bit more in terms of the number of shares that you might own, even if that's more psychological than it is logical. It is also something that, I think makes sense. You like to feel like you have a little bit in terms of the number of shares that you own. So anyway, if you have the capital, I see Amazon as a long-term buy, even if I don't see it as a short-term buy in terms of it really, jumping in the short term. But again, I think it would be a great foundational piece, if you're just starting a portfolio and if you have some capital to get to it. Otherwise, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you will subscribe again to Stock Screamer, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.